Well, happy Thanksgiving to everyone, and good to see we got some of the wives in the audience today with our lunch bunch. Good to have y'all. But happy Thanksgiving. We're excited about this week. As we always say, we have the season, and then it's South Carolina. It's literally a goal of its own, and something that we look forward to every single year. It's the next goal for us, and we're excited again about the week. And South Carolina, looking at them, looking at their offense, I'm really impressed with their quarterback. I think he's going to be a very good player for them. He can throw the football. He makes a lot of very accurate throws. He's got the ability to push the ball down the field. He's a big kid. And, again, he's a freshman, kind of getting thrown in there this year. But he's a tough young man, and I think a guy that's got a bright future for sure. They got really a whole stable of running backs. These running backs are a good group, a very good group. Rico's had a great year. He's a very good runner. Feaster's had an excellent year for him as well. Obviously, we know all about him. But I think the number 20 kid that they've played here as of late, too, I think he's another big back that's a good player. A big loss for him with Edwards out. If he's not going to play, he's had a phenomenal career, and really a good football player and a guy that they use in a lot of different ways. But several other guys that are maturing at receiver. Shy Smith's a great football player. We're very familiar with him. He's a dangerous guy, especially with the ball in his hands. And then assuming they'll get Ortre back as well, another big body. So they got a good group of receivers, some big-bodied guys, a solid group. But I think injuries have been a factor for them, obviously. And again, when you lose a guy like Brian Edwards, that doesn't help you. But they're doing a lot of different things on offense, so it creates a strain on you because it's really hard to kind of know what their identity is, because I think they've had to find ways from week to week as they've had some injuries and things like that to move the ball. And so they've played 7 in there at some. They've done some run game, quarterback run game things. They've trick plays, a little bit of everything. Ball comes out quick. They'll get into a lot of empty, a lot of formations, a lot of shifts. So just for us, we got to line up well, something we really didn't do a good job of last year, and play with great discipline and execute at a high level. And it's going to start with trying to stop the run game and pressuring the quarterback. So, but again, a group that I think has got a good future, especially with their quarterback. Looking at their defense, definitely the strength for them. This is a very good defensive line, very good defensive line. These guys have been battle-tested. I think Three's as good a player as you're going to see in the country. I think he's a really good football player they've done a great job developing. He is big and strong and long and does a great job with his hands. Got a good motor. He's affected every single game that he's been in. I think the same thing, 95 is a good player. I think both their ends are good players. 8 is a outstanding prospect. They've got some good leadership at linebacker, but they've had a couple injuries on that side as well. Like both their corners, I think both these corners are very good football players. 24 he's a 6'4" kid out there playing corner. He's gotten his hands on a lot of balls. He's got great length, and then J.C. Horn is definitely one of the better corners that we've seen. He's a down-in, down-out player, very consistent. He's a tough kid, good tackler. So good group, but again, for us, just excited about getting back on the field, excited about the week. Again, this is a wonderful week in all of college football. I think it's one of the things that makes college football so much fun. Games like this all over the country. But for us, our focus is just really simple. It's on finishing strong and playing our best 4 quarters of the season this week, and really nothing else. With that, I'll take your questions.
Coach, I'm guessing that the bye week was just good for all your guys to kind of recuperate mentally and physically, but How about Amari and Justin? Are they both back to 100%?
All back, ready to roll. It was a great, great timing for us. Had a lot of guys kind of banged up in our last game, but the bye week fell at a good time, and so good to have everybody back.
Coach, I know you addressed this in your call-in show last night, just Todd Ellis' comments saying it puts USC fans in a bad spot when you do the Walk of Champions, referring to 2017 when you were down there. Just your thoughts on that type of comment at the Walk of Champions?
Well, there's really not much else to say. I mean, I think that's ridiculous. I mean, 2015, 2013, 2011, 2009, 2007, I mean, that's what Clemson's done for 17 years that I've been here, and it's just ridiculous. It's not any type of taunting. It's a unity thing for our team. It's something we do every single game, home, on the road. If it's something we just did on the road, I could see that. But it's just who we are. It's what we do, and I don't think anybody should be distracted by how a team warms up, how a team gets themselves ready to play a game. I think bottom line is you can yell and scream and holler. I think that's just part of it. But when you start throwing things at people, it's all fun and games till somebody gets their eye knocked out. And that's why I got frustrated a couple of years ago, and really lost my cool. Got a penalty. But there's a guy. There was a major lawsuit in the NFL. A guy threw a flag and hit a guy in the eye. A flag, and about blinded the guy. Now all of a sudden you got things coming out of the stands, whether it be bottles or batteries or whatever it may be. That's not good. And it's not. Listen, I know a bunch of great South Carolina people. I've got friends that are South Carolina people. It's not representative of who they are. It's just a few people that just don't handle themselves the right way. I mean, it's great spirit. You want to have a great spirited competition. It's a rivalry game. You get that. It's emotional, but that's dangerous, and it's just not something that you should do. But to suggest that it could be okay because of something that a team's doing it, I mean, it's just ridiculous. That basically, when somebody's flipping me a bird, does that mean I can throw something at them? And I get a lot of those. Not just South Carolina. I get them in a lot of places. It's just, again, there's a lot of stuff, but I think sooner or later, people have to be adults, and it's a game. This is a game, and I know it's important. It's an important game for both sides. Everybody's passionate about it, but there's right and there's wrong, and we shouldn't lose perspective because of our passion for a game.
The fact that you had the open day, several years ago, I think there was an open day before the South Carolina game. In terms of flow and that kind of thing, any concerns about this late in the year, having that open day?
Man, I'll take it every year if we could get it. I love an open date anytime we get one. I'm never concerned about an open date. I think it's great. And I don't really worry ever about a schedule anyway because it's not something you have any control over. It is what it is. So, I think for us it worked out great. If we get beat this week, it's not going to be because, we had an open date. It's going to be because they played better than we did.
On your open day, what did you guys do?
What did we do? Well, we practiced Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, met on Tuesday. So Tuesday was just a meetings day, and we also did our career fair, which was a big day, and then gave them off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then which is what we normally do. We haven't had two open dates in a while, so again, normally we do community service on Tuesdays, and we don't meet. But this week, this open date, we had meetings, and then also our big career fair, which was a great experience for our guys. A lot of different companies in here, so that was a good day. And then everybody got a good weekend off, and got back in here yesterday, and back on the field last night.
How do you describe this rivalry to the guys who maybe didn't grow up in the state, or they didn't grow up around it? How do you talk about that?
Oh, they figure it out pretty quick. When you live in Clemson, and it's a small state, it's when it comes to in a small area here, so you get hit with it pretty quick. Both sides, whether you go to Columbia or you're here in Clemson, you go to either one of those schools, it's just a natural thing. It's a goal of its own. So don't have to do a whole lot of explaining. And then obviously as these guys play and they get a little experience in the game, they understand how much it means to both sides and all the people, in the state. So don't have to explain a whole lot. But for us, it's the next game. I mean, it's a huge game. It's a goal. I mean, it's a best of one for us. It's been playoff football for a long time for us, every single week. So it's just, being excited to have a chance to go win again, regardless of who you play. But this one just always has a little extra juice in it because it's the team you probably know more about than any other team because you share the same state and everywhere you go, you get hit with this on both sides. So you can't help but figure it out when you get here.
Hey, Dabo, now that you've been through it, are you a fan of the 2-week open dates?
Oh, I'm a huge fan. I love the 2 open dates. I it seemed like in 15, I don't know that we had 2 true open dates, but we had like 16 days off before we played Notre Dame, I think, and maybe another Thursday game or something. We've had a couple of weird schedules, but I think this is the first time that I can remember that we've had 2 true open days. So I love it. I think it's great. I mean, we've had some of these years where we've been on fumes into the ACC. I think one year, can't remember if it was 15 or 16, but we played 10 in a row. Was it 15? We played 10 in a row, and we were literally, we weren't empty, but we were on a quarter tank. And thank goodness we had just enough gas left in us to get across the line there, and then went into postseason. But so yeah, I love it. The calendar's messed up this year. The whole calendar. It's the way everything. The ACC championship game's a week later. Everything is, our whole December's different than what it's been. The national championship's a week later. It's just everything is very different for us. I mean, how we do bowl prep, as far as when we start practice and all, it's a very different thing. I've usually given our guys a lot of time off after the ACC championship game, but we're not going to be able to have as much time this year. We're going to probably have to start on that Friday. I think last year we started on the following Wednesday. Just, again, we had a whole other week, and we just don't have that. So it's good here, but it's bad on the back end from a finals and prep standpoint and recruiting. It's a lot to manage for us. I ain't complaining because, we have recruiting conflicts because we're in that ACC championship game, and we really only have a few days before the dead period. So, but that's first world problems, as they say. That's a good problem. We'll live with that one.
We'll get a little